expert opinion on what to do in this market on various aspects, not only the micro but the macro picture as well. And today we have with us a very eminent panel. Two very special guests join us today. Jagannathan Thunuguntula, Head of Equity at SMC Capitals, is joining us from Delhi. And Sudeep Bandopadhyay, Managing Director and CEO at Convexity Solutions, is also with us from Mumbai. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us and good evening. Welcome to Profit. Let's first talk about where are we headed from here. We've seen the Nifty make a new 52-week high, but going by what's been happening over the past couple of weeks, it's been a slow grind. It's not been a very steep rally. Every time we make a new 52-week high, we consolidate for a while, then start inching higher. So just want to get your broader sense on where are we headed, and in case you want to give us any year-end targets.
So it's been shaping up. A target of 21,000 by the end of this fiscal on the BSE Sensex is definitely achievable.
21,000. That seems to be a long shot, but going by improvement in the operational environment, I would definitely see 21,000. Jagan, I know for a long time you've been a little bearish on this market. You seem to suggest that the range-bound trend could continue. Do you see the 21,000? You want to hazard a guess on that one?
I wish that is right, but the question is, it is not appearing to be, because of course as slowly even the market has been in a range, the range is moving tending slightly upwards, but I don't think market has enough confidence and the conviction to really to break out, because the January 2010 we have started around 17,400. Now we have moved 18,100. That is barely 700 points after almost 7-8 months of performance. If we reach 21,000 or any process during that time, will be perfect time to sell out, because 1,000 rupees EPS, more than 18 times PE multiple is a perfect sell. It's a sheer common sense. You better sell when there is strength.
So Jagan seems to be of the opinion that perhaps there is little more in this market. Perhaps valuations are a little stretched. But gentlemen, let's talk about the two sectors here which have seen a lot of action. That's the small and the large caps. Now, large caps, as we all know, have been a little wavered, but small caps, you actually are in amazement the kind of rally that we have seen in some of those small cap names, and on a daily basis we see a lot of action building up. Jagan, small cap versus large cap, which ones do you prefer? Do you think small caps are a good bet, but if the market's correct, I think it's the small caps which tend to take the biggest fall?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a perfect stock-specific market. I think it's more than large cap, small cap, or which sector. I think one has to be very careful as far as picking up the stocks is concerned, because as we discussed in the past as well, in Indian market the tendency is when the market falls, everything falls, irrespective of the sectors and irrespective of the caps. And further, small caps and mid caps have a tendency to fall much faster and more severe than the large caps. I think it's very difficult, important to concentrate on the areas where there is good asset quality and good revenue stream, so that even on a bad day, even if you cut wrong on valuation, at least you are sitting on a good asset. Let's say some PSUs are good because their balance sheets and revenue streams are looking stronger, and some of the PSUs where the FPOs etc. are planned, I think some activity can be expected there, because around up to the build-up up to the FPO, generally all these PSUs are under pressure as far as their price performance is concerned. But the moment there will be good subscription numbers flowing in as part of their FPO, they tend to perform good. We have seen that with REC, we have seen that with Engineers India, and even Power Grid on the way. So net it will be a fascinating watch.
Okay, very interestingly put there. Let's focus on inflation, gentlemen, something which is at the back of mind of everyone, and today the weekly inflation numbers that came out does seem to suggest that just slightly there is some pressure that's easing off on the food side. Jagan, I'll start with you on this. Do you think inflation is still a very large concern, and we should not look into these weekly changes in a very significant manner, because there are still a lot of factors on the macro front on the inflation side that are a little disconcerting?
Inflation is definitely a concern in India for two reasons, Ashu. One is because the middle class and the lower middle class segments of India is very sensitive zone for inflation. On top of that, that will lead to the political pressures as well. So inflation is very critical thing. As we discussed in the past, inflation is like a bookworm. It will keep eating into your wealth without your notice. So 8% growth with 10% inflation has no meaning. Definitely inflation has to be controlled at any cost, because it is just a side effect of 2008 liquidity liquidity pumping in, and also now it is coming into the public notice and public domain as far as the lack of consensus between the government and RBI, and there is some open word of battles as well. So I think overall net it is very critical, because government has been betting on the base effect and the monsoon. These two factors as the critical to bring the inflation down to the 5 to 6% levels. If any of these two factors don't work out, I think probably we will be getting into very tough times where the RBI may need to be very aggressive in terms of policy tightening. But one more aspect is most of this inflation is supply related, not the demand related. So because even the RBI can control only the demand related. So I think inflation will be definitely an issue.
We've all seen that on live television, the kind of pressure the government is under right now. Sorry about that, but let's focus on the earnings season, which I think is pretty much over. Jagan, you want to take a shot? Earnings season, hit or a miss?
Yeah, I think as rightly said, I don't think there is any particularly, we cannot call it as either a hit or a miss. I think there are equal number of hits as well as misses. Some pockets have surprised definitely positively, and in some places I think the pressure is there. Let's say starting from Reliance, and they have disappointed for some reasons. Of course their numbers are good, but the KG-D6, which is their crown jewel or their main asset, I think slow ramp up of their capacity there is definitely a concern, and which is having about a substantial weightage on the Sensex and Nifty will be a very critical point as far as the performance is concerned. And as far as some other pockets like some banks related, there was pressure. Some capital goods also, there was some of the order books were unable to translate into turnovers. So I don't think we can call it either as a hit or a miss. I think it proved to be a non-event. Market has not moved anywhere.
Right, non-event, that's the word that Jagan has used, and I think we would all agree with that, non-event for the markets. Jagan and Sudeep, stay with us. We're going to take a small break. We'll come back and keep a chat going with you on various other aspects. It's becoming more interesting. Stay with us. Welcome back. Jagan and Sudeep are still with us. Gentlemen, we've talked about valuations, we've talked about macro concerns, we've talked about the earnings picture. I know you both wouldn't want to give a stock-specific view, but I'm going to focus more on the sector-specific action, sectors that we should keep a track of, sectors that are going to be the next big ones as far as the move towards the 21,000, as Sudeep mentioned. So, cap goods, infra. Sudeep is betting on that. Jagan, what are you betting on?
I think some mid-cap PSU banking is looking quite interesting, because when the rally has happened, the most of the banking stocks have rallied, but some of the mid-cap PSU banks have been overlooked by the market. I think some valuation catch-up may happen in that segments. I think that can be an interesting space. And secondly, as I mentioned in the beginning as well, that some PSU plays around their IPO and FPO public issues, the stocks can be volatile. If somebody is ready to take that bet, one can buy when the stock is under pressure, and then when the subscription numbers are good, even the stocks can rally well. So that's not a bad idea. And then if somebody watches, even some open offers, delisting related arbitrages are also there. So of course one needs to know how to play, but if one can play that way, that can also be promising. Otherwise, as far as other sectors are concerned, yeah, I mean, then it boils down to very stock specific, Ashu. I think one has to be very careful, because even good sectors can have bad companies, and even bad sectors can have good companies.
Very aptly put. And I'm going to become a little stock specific now. Reliance Industries, I want to ask both of your perspective on this one. The kind of ramp up that we have seen on the shale gas build up is actually quite amazing, and today was also a case in point. Must have, as per Sudeep. Jagan, Reliance Industries at 1,000 rupees, I think it's just about 1,006. It's a must have on the portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody is ready to play that swing trade between 1,000 rupees to 1,100, that 100 rupees spread, definitely not a bad time to buy that at 1,000 rupees and exit at 1,100. But beyond that, I don't think there will be any breakout, because the critical point about the whole story is that KG-D6 basin, the decision about slow rampage on that front is the major critical one, because till that time happens, I don't think the stock will go anywhere. Shell is a big news, and even the entry into the telecom and retail industries, all that is good, but the real drive has to come from the KG-D6. The very decision that they want to go slow is definitely a concern. And as the balance sheet has about $6 billion cash, and the treasury stock sale can generate about a $5-6 billion of cash. So I think money wise, I think they have enough cushion to definitely invest, but unless they invest, I don't think the stock will move anywhere.
Okay. Well, interesting views there, Jagan and Sudeep, as always. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Tips for Tomorrow, and a very insightful discussion on various topics, and it's a pleasure getting all those thoughts across to our viewers. Well,